Hello everybody, in today's video we are finally setting up automated emailing from our Medusa 2.0 app. This video will be in two parts. The first part I'll be launching this deploy template, which is already pre-configured with a new plugin for Resend, and it is also pre-configured in the backend to be sending out an email for admin users when they are invited. But in part two, that will be a code along where we go through what it actually takes to set up any kind of automated email in the backend. So I'll be making an example video on how you can create a product confirmation email. But in this part of the video, we're only going to be integrating Resend and making sure that our first email can go out and is received in our inbox before we go into details in the backend code. I'll get right started with the setup. First, we're going to deploy the deploy template. I'll click deploy. And since there's going to be also a code along video, we are going to need the local version of the template as well. So we will be ejecting, let's just give it a few seconds here. Let's see the backend settings, and I'll simply eject the project straight away. Select my GitHub user and click eject. It is now ejected. I now have a fork of the repo. Let's go over here and I will select the Git URL. Git clone, paste in the URL, Medusa Resend. Okay, we now have our project. Let's open it up. Here's code. Now that we have the project on our local machine and we also have it on Railway, we are ready to move forward with the next step, which is going to be signing up with Resend and configure our domain. Okay, first we're going to head over to resend.com and we're going to need to sign in, and we already have a GitHub user, so I'll click login with GitHub. Head over to the API key section and we'll find that we have no API key configured. We'll create a new one. I'll call it Medusa app and we'll add it. I'll copy the API key, and just for now I will paste it into VS Code and later we'll paste it into Railway as well. So I find the variable Resend API key and I paste it in here. Next thing we're going to need is a domain. So I'll head over to the domain section and we have no domain, so I'll add one. And I have the domain funkytongue.com, so I can make unlimited subdomains. I'll make one called resend.funkytongue.com. And I'm not going to change the region, so I'll just click add. And now it looks like we're going to need some DNS setup. And depending on what DNS provider you are using, it might look different from you, but I'm using Cloudflare. So I'll open up side by side Cloudflare here, and then we're going to add the records. The first one is the MX. So I'll choose MX as type, and then I will copy the name, paste it in, and then we're going to need a value. So I'll copy the value, paste in the value. And it says to set the priority to 10. I'm not sure if this is necessary, but I'm going to do it. I'll click save. So that was the first one. Add another one. And this is going to be a TXT record. I'll copy the name again. And a value, and paste the value into the content field. I'll add a comment, resend, and click save. The comment is not necessary. Let's add the last one. txt, copy the value, the name, sorry, and the value. Oh, something is not right. Oh, it's an A, we need txt. Yes, and then we're going to need to paste the value into the content field. Like so. Click save. And that should be it. We now have the 3 records, a txt, xtxt, and mx. That should be all we need to set up. Let's verify the domain. So I'll close down the Cloudflare and zoom in a little bit here. Are there anything else we need to do? Doesn't look like it. So let's click the verify DNS button. This can take a while. It says pending right now. I'll pause. Oh, and there it is. This took just a few minutes, but it can take up to, in theory, it can take up to 24 hours, but it took just 2 minutes. Now that we have our API key, we are also going to need a from email, and it has to be at the domain we just configured in Resend. So I'll call it info@resend.com. So these are the 2 variables that are needed for the Resend integration. Let me just show you the configuration. If we scroll down to Resend, here it is. So this is the configuration. It expects the Resend API key and Resend from, but nothing else. So for the local setup, this is all we need. We have the API key and the from email. Let's go ahead and add those to Railway as well. I will copy this one to clipboard and I will open up Railway again. And if you're not paying for Railway and you are not at least a hobby user but a trial plan, you can still configure it, but you won't have live deploys anyway. So maybe you can just ignore this part of the video and wait for the code along experience where we're going to be running the whole project on local. But for now, let's just configure it so we have it for later. So I'll go into variables in the backend and I'll say add new, paste this one in, and then we're going to need the value of the key. Copy this, paste it in, add. And we need one more, so that would be the from, add new variable, paste it in here. And the value, add, and then I will hit deploy. While we're waiting for the changes to come live, is a good opportunity for me to give a shout out to the creator of the Resend module that we are using. They are called Type Development. They also have a GitHub repo here. Please give them a star. This is the module that we're using. And this is one of the first Medusa 2.0 community release production ready plugins that I have seen at least. So that's a really healthy sign that the community have started releasing Medusa 2.0 stuff. Let's go back to Railway and see if we are ready. We are now ready, so I will try to open up our backend. And we need to add /app to log in. And let's copy our admin credentials, so the email and the password. Continue with mail. So I already added a little bit of backend code, one example of automated email. So if I now invite a new admin user, we should be sending out an email to that admin user with the Resend integration. So let's do that. I'll click invite, and then we're going to need an email. I'll find a 10-minute mail. So I'll simply copy this email address, head back to our backend, and let's try to invite this user. Send invitation, pending. It should be sent now. Let's head over to the inbox. And there was the email. You have been invited. And here's a very simple email body, your invite link. And if we click it, you will be directed to your backend where there is a sign up form. Let's head over to our recent dashboard. So I'll open the tab here and refresh. And we see that there was indeed an email sent out to this address. So we can now confirm that the Resend integration is working. And if we click on the email here, we will be taken to this little overview where you can see here's like a flow chart of sent and delivered. I believe it would also show bounced if it bounced. And we can also see the contents of the email here. And maybe you're wondering, where does this come from? And this is something that I built into the backend currently. So if we open up VS Code, find our backend and go to source, subscribers, invite created. Here is some code, and I needed to create this for the automated email to go out, and the template string here is the body of the email, and the subject you will see is right here. So this is why the email worked. In the next video, I'll be doing one more example of an end-to-end implementation of something similar to this, but for a product confirmation email. And I think that should be all you need to know to build other kinds of automated email into your Medusa 2.0. So stay tuned for part 2. Bye.